This is the Admin Finance Committee meeting on August 6th. The town has the sound muted because the meeting hasn't started yet, I believe.
No comment. Okay, that's technical. Now it's gonna be weird. Yeah. All right. I have 10 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order. Jackie, can you hear everything all right?
I can, thank you.
I can. There we go. Chris? All right. Okay. Are there any citizens here this morning? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the agenda. First is approval of the July 9th meeting minutes.
I'll move to approve.
Okay, I'll second. Are there any additions or subtractions?
Nope.
I didn't see any problem. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So two. All right, next is approval of the July list of vendors.
I'll
Joe?
move to approve.
Second? Any comments on the list of vendors there, Joe?
Most of them are just pool employees. We have a couple different things for flags for the fountain and supplies for the QQ pod at the airport.
Flags
Is
at
that
the
with
fountain.
circuit board on the being, or did they replace that for free?
That is under warranty.
Okay, cool.
The supplies, I think, was
Like rolls of keep
Oh, okay.
the card reader. Yeah.
Okay.
we want to ease into this, Justin. Joe's first time presenting the vendor. More questions for Joe, right?
It's only me. Okay. All right, Jackie, do you have any questions?
I do not, thank you.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next is approval of the July list of bills.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. Okay, Jack.
Few comments on that. It was a little larger than normal because of just the way the payment of the boat premiums fell, Geisinger. So that was an additional 90,000 or so into that. Additional that we shouldn't see on a recurring monthly basis. If you look at the airport, about 7 items down or so, it's $39,000 for the airport operation. That sticks out.
Mm-hmm.
But that was because of the fuel purchase from AV Fuel for $34,000.
Okay.
So really reasonable item to take that out. And jumping down to say the library, that has a large expense there, but that's simply closed the mechanism where we pay to the library the real estate tax to collect that on its tax.
Okay. Is that a twice a year payment? Okay.
then the airport fund, that's the final payment that goes to consultants for the taxiway consulting and hangars.
Okay.
And that's pretty much my comments on it, that's there's other than the following detail.
Okay. Jackie, do you have any questions?
No, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary, in my opinion.
Okie dokie. All in favor of approving the July list of bills? Please say aye. Aye. Thank you. Next is review of the July financial. Jack, is there anything you want to point out in particular?
No, nothing in particular on the financials to point out at this time.
Okay, I had a question about parking revenue. It seems to me like perhaps our meter revenue and mobile revenue are reversed.
Which, for
47. Or page 27 in the copy.
Yeah.
what page is that?
47.
47?
Yep.
Can we get an inch?
Let's look at it here. Okay, no. Page 28 there, page 48. Yeah. They're at 363, 4700, and 4702. Downtown mobile parking at 32.
There we go. Okay.
And meter parking at the 97. But that was the budget, and we don't have any in there for year to date.
I think just from my glance at it, I think 4689 should be down to the 4702. So, but Jack can review it. I think Jack, I sent an email, you were going to do a passport
That's
review.
great, September.
So
Yeah.
that can be expected in the September meeting. If you want to go into detail what that would consist of, Jack.
Well, I guess I'd just be surprised if the number is so much higher for the meters as opposed to the app. But that's what I would. So would be. Is that something that just needs reviewed? Okay. Otherwise, I didn't see any variances that seemed out of place.
I didn't either.
Okay. We're going into budget season, so I just want to make sure we're making sure we know where our ins and outs are. Okay. Next is the update on the scanner.
The trial period ended and we are not going to proceed with using it. We were going to look into keeping it around, but it doesn't really save a lot of time when we get it completed, so.
What were we hoping that it would do? Just digitize all the documents faster?
Pretty much, yep.
What's the process now?
It's a lot of manually scanning everything in and then renaming the documents
Okay.
on your own. And this was supposed to alleviate some of that time, and it doesn't really do that, so.
Okay. And was this a suggestion like through the vendor that they gave this to us to give a shot?
No, this was a Lisa Dooley plan that didn't go as planned. So I was trying to get, more efficient ways to do things. And
Yeah.
Joe tried it like both ways. She timed herself multiple times, and she didn't find that it was saving time. So
Okay. Well, worth a shot.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Jack, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Next is discussion of the referral policy. Lisa sent that out. Jackie, did you get a chance to look over that?
I did. I thought the monetary compensation was a little high, to be honest with you, for a couple of them. I can't really see the email, unfortunately, to review it.
It basically breaks it down for technical roles, offering a $3,000 payout, general staff and departmental support, $2,000 payout. So 3 and 2, depending on the, and then trades 2,500.
I thought it was high, to be honest. Those kind of numbers. Most of the time I see 500, between 500 and 750. Maybe 1,000 here and there. However, 3, 2, and 25 are pretty high to me.
I tried to put some ranges in the email, so, I would say public trading companies are ranging from anywhere from 300 to $3,000. When you look at counties, they're maybe around the $500. There's not a lot of documents or referral programs out there that I could find, so these were just the ones that I could locate and put, some numbers behind it.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if you guys wanted to include council members. The conversation first started at committee or council, really concentrating on the police force. But then when you start looking at other departments, for example, public works that were down staff, I don't know where you guys want to go with the policy. I know talking with Chief Bossy, our idea is possibly keep the money for the candidate coming in as an incentive. But there's different ways to go about this.
Well, I think given the problems with the tax trying to pass that whole thing with council, we're obviously divided on how that's going to work out. And I do think that there would be concerns with, as Nick stated, if we're offering it on the front end to the employees, that's just going to come back and we're going to have to offer it on the back end with the contract negotiation. I really do like the idea of the incentive this way of people that are already in the system asking other people to come and join. I don't think that elected officials, and I think that this is a really good policy, and I wouldn't change much about it. I can't speak to Jackie's sentiments of whether it's excessive or not. It didn't come off that way to me. I think if you really want people to consider a good candidate, then they have to be invested to do so. And eliminating us stops us from cutting the $10,000 check to Jim Garner.
Yeah, he's 1 for 1 already. I would definitely say things that need to maybe be further discussed if this is a policy you want to enter into is what about part-time roles? That is in the document right now, but I do not have a monetary value up above, for that. I don't know where you guys want to go on that. As you mentioned, elected officials were highlighted. I excluded department heads because I think a lot of times, we have influence as to who we're hiring and who we're presenting to council. So I don't think that's fair. And then direct relation, right? So when we talk about direct relation, is that a stepson, stepdaughter? I would think yes, right? But we should probably have a definition of what that truly means.
Agreed.
So there's probably a lot more to go about this policy. In addition to this, I would view an application be filled out to say, hey, you referred someone, that application sheet goes to the department head leader, and then it's submitted to HR, so it's on file in case we hire that employee.
That's what I thought, is that we almost have to have a way where if there's someone that a current employee is referring, that they submit the application so that it has their name, rather than being able to go back and be like, well, I knew Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, even after the fact, we didn't know the connection, and then it's oh yeah, I do know that person. So it's almost I put a good word in for Joe, and I want my $3,000 with it.
Yeah. Well, the restaurant software I use has a referral policy.
Yeah.
Very, same thing. You can't go back and be like, oh, hey, my buddy opened that restaurant and he's using this now, so I want my $500. It's a whole program you have to be in ahead of time, and you have to submit that, these people might be interested, so the company can contact them first.
Yeah.
So I think if we did it that way, that's all we really need to do on that end. And then, I don't know, Jackie, how would you want to clarify the nepotism part of it? Do we want to say lived under the same roof, or what degree of separation needs there be?
Hmm.
And I'll give an example with that comment, like living under the same roof, you could have a grown son or daughter and they're not under your roof per se, just as an example.
Right.
I don't think I should be referring to my son or daughter, but that doesn't mean that I can't say, hey, chief, please, there's nothing perfect.
Sorry, Jackie, I want to.
No. So, we use like a little QR code here at work that you kind of scan, obviously, and then it asks you who you're referred by. That might be an option. What I can do, I just looked through my work email here too, and there is a little form. If you want me to send that over to you, I can probably do that for you. And then this one was for our multi-million company. We are only offering $250. So, and $500. It depends upon what position they are being hired for. I think makes sense. The maximum amount is $1,000. So we don't make nearly as much money as this company does. So the $3,000 is
Outrageous.
out of my
Okay.
range to accept that.
Thank you, Jackie. Sense of reason.
Would we want to go 250, 500, 750? Or, I don't know, give a range.
Well, this one looks like we're offering $250 for substitute positions once they have completed 260 hours of instruction. One is $500 for referrals hired in positions that are not identified as critical, and then they get the bonus after 3 months of employment. Another one is $750 for all positions identified as critical. Again, those are given out upon completion of 3 months. And then one is for $1,000 for referrals hired in all exempt manager level above positions. So it seems like $750 for full-time, $500 for part-time maybe, and $1,000 for managers, which we're not really hiring for. So
Yeah.
again, this is a little high. Other multi-million dollar revenue companies have offered a lot less. I don't know how well they work, so if we could reach out to someone who knows a little bit more about this and how well it actually works, I would like that.
This is Mark. Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
Certainly, Mark.
Yeah, I do agree that I think the figures are high, because my thought is, since this is something new, start on the lower side, and council can determine exactly what that is. But if you see that it's not having any meaningful effect on key positions, it's easier to adjust a payment higher down the road than to adjust a payment lower. As far as how you track it, having the referring employee fill out some type of simplified form is one option or part of the option, but it's not uncommon that on the actual job application there's a line that says referred by, so that you can typically match it up to minimize potentially okay, I said I referred you, but no, you said I didn't, and can have a checks and balances. And I definitely agree that, no elected official or department chairs should be eligible for this because it's part of their team responsibility.
Absolutely.
Involved in the hiring process.
Chris had a comment. Chris, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
We can hear
So
you.
I also work for a big company, and it's a lot of doctors and whatnot, but they do offer bonuses for lower level positions, and the rate is dependent upon the position. The lowest one I see it looks like the most prevalent is $750, and those are for like surge techs, LPNs, things like that. It goes really high with some of the more harder to hire doctors, but you don't want to know that amount. It's crazy.
The lowest one
I would like that bonus.
Yeah.
But also, we have a bunch of like you can't get it if you are involved in the hiring process, if you work in HR, if you are a management level, that's a certain just level, and you have to be, of course, active employee.
Mhm.
But we don't have anything about nepotism in our policy.
That was one thing I added in.
So a couple things here. Obviously there's going to be a range depending on, where you work and the skills I think required for the job. I don't think that this is exactly a silver bullet for us either. This is just a step in hoping that, we get some participation from the current workforce, which we usually get anyway. It's a nice way of recognizing the people that bring other good people onto the team, I think. So I agree that we can start lower and always bring it up, but I don't think that even if we, get, how much do you have to offer before people are like, oh, recommending anyone? Throw a lot of crap at the wall and see who's staying.
The budget standpoint on this will be difficult because we can go through like a year where we have 5 hires.
Right.
And this year, we're seeing an increase of hires. So from a budget standpoint too, it would be very difficult to put a number on it.
Right.
Sorry, Jack.
Go ahead, Jack.
No, there has to be a time frame where they are employed for X amount. 90 days is usually pretty normal.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody's just recommending anyone, then that's going to weed out a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I know we're not going to be paying it out extraneously. I'm just saying, it's got to be a number that people, are interested in thinking about, but also some people just have bigger networks than others.
Right, exactly. I agree. Right. Personally, I'll just throw my personal experience out there. When I see these things, I just kind of write them off. I don't know if that is a common thought process, but I don't know how well they work.
So the one thing that I know at council it was brought up that, on the back end we would end up compensating union employees. This language is not in any of the union contracts. So when we talk about contractual obligations, things like that, do we want to have that discussion to say, is this a program outside of the contract? Is this going to be worked into the contract? I understand we have some hiring issues right now that we're going through, but if that was our main concern and then we're doing this program, it's essentially the same thing. However, being more upfront with the policy on it, if that makes sense.
Well, it would be offered to both contract and non-contract employees, so it would almost have to be a handbook type policy that would apply to everybody rather than contract policy, don't you think?
Yes. I think it'd be a blanket policy to cover the town versus like an independent policy that we would for the police department or public works. You're just putting it out there for everybody.
Yeah.
I think you might find yourself though in contract season, like Mark was saying, if you go up high and then say you have 3,000, right? And you want to back that down to 1,000, I would just be hesitant about what's going to be in the contract in the future and understanding we can't control that right now and that will be worked on. But I just wanted to give that as a heads up.
Well, I would sort of lean towards at this point, do like a 250 and 500 and drop the supervisor. So we have technical roles and technical roles, administrative professionals, and departmental support. What are you considering administrative professionals as opposed to departmental support?
So the admin professionals, that would require a license or certification. So police officers, Act 120, code enforcement officers, IPMC certification,
Mechanic?
public works, EDLs, recycling CDLs. So that's what I would group under that certification category.
Okay.
And yes, mechanic with the CDL.
Okay. And then, but like director supervisory roles, that's pretty much solely done at the discretion of council. Do we want to? I'm not sure those are stuff where, because who else would be recommending those people?
Our last director of finance was recommended from a public works director. So, when you experience it firsthand, I would definitely say when we are hurting for a hire in 3 or 4 months and it's a director level role, we could use all the help that we can get.
Okay.
I don't know. That's my take on it.
Yeah, seems correct.
Okay.
Okay, so there, I guess what, back to Jack's question, like, we have the director's here. If we were looking to fill another director role, $750, like, I mean, that's nice. Is it really changing your opinion of who you're going to suggest or look forward? I don't know. For me, no. Right. I can't speak for everybody.
It might be a candidate, though, that you don't have before you, and then you at least consider bringing them in for an interview.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you get to this level of where we're at, you all want to work with other competent people. There's incentive in just that, and like this person will make my life easier.
Right. Chris had a good comment too online. She said 1 referral per applicant. Like, so say people are at the bagel shop and there's a group of officers and public works is there too, and there's 5 employees on the town's payroll, and there's 1 person from a different municipality. We all say, hey, come work for the town. Are we going to find ourselves into that predicament where all 5 get a referral bonus? Which is a good point, Chris. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So there's a lot more to this than just a 2-page document.
There always is.
Yeah.
And Lisa, I forwarded that email to you to look over.
Okay.
You want to look over that?
Well, Jackie, do you just want to try to swap into dollar amounts for this? And, maybe answer some of the highlighted things so we can pass it on, get some work done on it?
Yeah, I'm fine with significantly dropping the rates. Again, I don't know how well these work.
Okay, well, just for the rates then, do we want to say 250 to 750? Or do you have a different schedule?
I feel maybe we should base it upon seasonal, part-time, and full-time. We need to have a range, yes.
So for seasonal, and I will just speak from a standpoint of trying to fill positions, we typically don't see a lot of issues with seasonal yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that as part of the policy, so I don't know if you guys want to create a line item for that.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Snowers too.
Sure.
Or lifeguards, or crash attendants.
You don't have problems with that, typically?
Not yet, not that we see, because town has been paying for the lifeguard certification. So, one of the things that I would have to make sure and add is, excluding lifeguards under this section to make sure it's a good policy.
Okay.
So are you okay with the breakdown as listed? We'll make the part out for lifeguards under the certified employees and go the 250, 500, 700 for the sake of placeholding, at least for the time being?
Yeah, so 250, 500, 750 is fine.
Okay. Then do we want to eliminate this for part-time roles and keep it to full-time, or leave it in as both?
How many part-time employees do we actually hire?
Good question.
Full-time or seasonal?
Year-round.
Full-time part.
So we've been increasing that, especially in parking. I think the idea is to get that up to 3 part-time employees. We have our seasonal compost site attendant, and then we have a part-time worker year-round at recycling. So we have about 5 to 7, I would say.
Okay.
Should we, then I would say let's keep it full-time, or full-year part-time employees, because I think we do want to get good recommendations, especially in the parking department. Those positions have been conflict there.
But
we're not having a problem with the seasonal ones, and
I mean, we've been having a hard time filling that part-time parking though too.
right, that's what I was saying, is let's keep the incentive for year-round part-time positions, like we want to do with parking and some of the others, but if we're not having problems filling the seasonal positions, let's leave those out at part-time.
That works. That's fine.
Okay, then there's the line about elected officials and department heads involved in the hiring process and HR staff not eligible for the bonuses.
Yeah, no.
Okay, that makes sense to me as well. And then the referral cannot be a direct relation. How do we want to both clarify that?
Maybe not a direct relation in the same department.
I mean, this is a small town. There's going to be people that are somehow related, or if they have a skill set that would be good and they want to work in the town,
Right.
we shouldn't necessarily reject them out of hand. But maybe that's good. It's not in the same department.
I will say a lot of our long-term employees that are good workers, they end up being, referrals that someone knew them coming in.
Right.
So I have seen that, the history on the town's end.
Sure.
So are you saying direct relation is okay as long as they're not working in the same department?
I think that's what you're saying, Jackie. Correct?
Yes.
I'm not sure we want to eliminate much more than that. I mean, we want people to use the policy, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be an incentive. So let's not slice it too thin.
So just for my notes, I have a correct policy that's a little bit better here next time. 250, 500, 750. Are you saying the 750 is the supervisor, or because there was some discussion, Justin, that you wanted to eliminate this category, but I don't think we really got an answer on that one.
I say we still keep the 3 tiers
Okay.
as you have them, with the carve-outs for the lifeguard.
Okay.
And then, just readjust the scale on the top.
Is the payout after 90 days and then after a 6-month period, evenly split, acceptable with the new price ranges?
I like that.
I will say, once the policy goes into place, if you guys go forward with it, Jackie, I think your question of, does this really work? I think employees would be motivated when they hear about it, but if it's not mentioned to them, it's going to be something that we all forget about. So it would be on us to help promote it internally as much as we can.
Agreed.
Okay? Do you need any other direction on that?
Nope, that's all I need on that one.
Okay.
Nice job.
You good with that, Jackie?
Oh yeah, that works for me. 100%.
Okay. Okie dokie. Then we'll just You want to bring back those revisions to council and we can refine it a little bit more council-wide and then get it approved? Or do
Yeah.
you want to have another meeting about it?
I think we're good. I mean, I do like the standpoint of adding it to our application to have a box added. That's a simple addition. And then
Yeah,
having the
simple.
form, which, you know, Jackie, thanks for sending that over. I think those are the leftover items that are needed and we'll be good.
Okay, great. Okey dokey. Next, item 7 is review of the drone quotes for July 3rd of next year.
Yeah. A lot of vendors were contacted, being that it's the 250th year, and I think drones are becoming a little bit more, you know, popular.
Yeah.
The holiday of July 2nd through the 5th has been really increased per drone rental. So I'm hearing rates as much as 150 up to 250 for the holiday rate.
Right.
If it's a non-holiday rate outside of that time frame, it's $100 a drone. That seems like the going rate regardless. I do have some good news. Of the multiple vendors I contacted, there was one called Starlight, and they are willing to do a July 3rd show. If 100 drones would be selected, it would be $10,000. And I do have an example. I would like to say no pictures, please, from the press. But some of the examples that were provided, you can tell the difference between 100 drones versus 200,
Yeah.
obviously. I try to send that out through an email. However, you know, 100 still gets us a really nice picture.
Mhm.
They kind of move a little bit. If you are closer to the screen, it was discussed about logos being used. We can certainly use logos, but you know, the one rep that I listened to, they said they use logos for like their whole show, and then the social media posts were like it was just a logo show.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't anything, you know, USA.
Show up for the advertising.
Yeah. I took the liberty and I sent this one. I don't know if it can populate. Oh man. I was really excited about this one. People,
He's stealing our logo. What the heck?
if people can see this one, I'm gonna share
Oh, how cute is
that
that?
logo. Yeah. So,
Oh,
you know,
Someone else uses Canva, apparently.
yeah, so there's a lot of different possibilities that we can use. If you guys are interested, I would probably say Sky Stage is the lowest quote and we can still secure it on July 3rd. I've had people from Texas, Illinois, Missouri. They basically pack up their drones and they travel to the location. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be local to PA. Learned a lot about it. The company Sky Stage is founded in New York. Two brothers created it, and a friend. And
So
they're
you're gonna
out
buy
there.
yourself a couple hundred drones and get road?
It seems like they were in the New York Times. I did a really good background search on them, so they are legit.
I think that when we brought this up to council, we certainly did not have the 250 thing in the back of our minds. We were just looking at the numbers, and I certainly don't blame any of these companies for making hay when the sun shines next year. But our prices are probably everything's going to go because everybody wants to do something big. So,
Yeah.
I guess the question with the drones then is, we might be able to get it for a little bit more than the fireworks, but are we also not going to have to pay more than to have some type of audio show while people are there and extend that out?
So some of them do an audio, and it's on like a drive, and then basically we connect, kind of like the Catalyst military band. It plays at the same time, so it's in sync.
Cool.
I don't know if this company offers that, but I can ask. They still require a 400 feet distance from the public,
Mhm.
and they need a secure area to have the drones lift off from.
That's not really a concern, is it?
It's
No.
not a concern, but when we talk about where do you guys truly want the show, I was just giving them the same location. But then I was also thinking, do you guys want it by the band shell? Do you want it over the river? And those are the things that we would have to discuss with the vendor then.
Right. Well, I guess question number one is, do we want to commit to
explore this company a little bit more. Because I think we should find out whether there's an audio thing before we make any decisions, because that's gonna get expensive on top of it.
The one
mean-
company,
Is the audio been required?
it's not required, but it sounds like Justin would like that. I will say this one company, Howell, he said he provides it free of charge, so it might be just something that goes along with the package, and I'll further discuss with SkyStage if you guys want. I'll have the answer by Monday.
Okay.
These people are definitely salespeople. I've been getting, emails day and every day, like since Monday, like, hey, where's our quote scan? So I'll get back to them.
Yeah. I guess I'm.
That was a fun one that
We knew that was August 29th.
I don't know, but we
That's our
could,
opportunity.
apparently there's some communities that make a run out of Goose Day, so.
Yeah. I guess I'm not married to the idea of the music. I just think that if you're looking to put on an experience, it would be kind of weird to sit quietly in the front and just watch this drums today. There should be some audio component to it, personally.
And I tend to agree. You have to have music or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be definitely different because when you have the fireworks, right, you have the dynamite effect where you can't really hear people talking. On
Right.
this one, even if you have the audio, we're definitely gonna have to get the sound system on this.
Yeah.
I hate to bring that up, but.
No,
And that's what I'm sort of driving at is, what are our actual costs going to be here if we want to go this route? And I think music is going to be important, so we're going to have to pay for it if that's really what we want to do. I don't know, what, Jackie?
I mean, like, even if we want to just continue to use the Catawissa Military Band to sync it with them, I don't see a problem with doing that. People do love that show, so.
Yeah, or start them later and just have the two things going on at the same time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I don't really care. I think we just need to have a plan.
I think the two of them at the same time is fantastic. Obviously, that does add to the cost, but I think that is the way that we should go.
Did they just do these for you? They can generate them?
Oh yeah. It's like Canva on their site. This site was really good because you could just pick the images and then have like your own draft show before you book the show. But yeah, this one's
That's
pretty
cool.
I would really like this one. This one they ended with. Let's not give it away though in the paper there, MJ. Yeah, see that? And even this one changes colors. Pretty neat. This was my fun this week, the only fun I'll have. But.
You didn't have fun, Chris?
Oh,
This is Chris. Can I ask a dumb question?
Certainly.
Is it feasible to get like one of the local radio stations to play the music so that people that aren't sitting in the park can listen to the music to go with the drums?
That's a really good idea. Because yeah, it would be, even if you could plug into, like almost at a museum, like here's the show, put in your headphone. It's like silent disco then.
Well, I was thinking like you could actually like play it on, I don't know, your phone or on radio, like an actual physical radio, your car radio. Because I know people like watch the fireworks, not necessarily always right at the park. Like, I mean, I'm sure you see
that's a really
like
good
12th
idea.
Street is usually flooded, and I can't always hear the music down at the park, even though I'm so close.
That is a great point.
Williamsport does something like that for the radio station, broadcast with them ahead of time. The Market Street food truck right there.
Yeah.
They'll play their normal shows and music, and then when the fireworks show or whatever kicks in, they all put in the same music clips or whatever station on the show.
Well, we are doing ours on the 3rd,
Mm-hmm.
so
might make sense to try to partner with either Seven Mountains or maybe WHSK. If they put together a program that went for the same duration and broadcasted, then anybody anywhere in town, wherever they're posted up, could see these things. And I mean, ultimately, we want people in the park for the sake of the vendors and being together, but that's a pretty cool idea.
I like it.
Yeah, like even the college, don't they still have a radio station? Like, even like that
Yeah,
might
they
be
just
a
got
project for them.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking. It might be a little too much, well, especially because it's in the summer and they're out for summer. So the college might not be the best one, but they're at least worth asking.
Yeah.
Worth an email.
I don't run during time.
What's that?
I don't think they run during the summertime.
They don't.
So it sounds like we're pro drones, right? Until one crashes and causes an issue.
What's a little drone action? It'll be all right.
Are you guys thinking?
Think of all the catastrophic things that can happen with fireworks.
That's true. It's a little bit safer, I guess. Are you guys thinking same location, town park then, or?
Yes.
I think it would be cool to be over the river.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, town park
What-
should still be the main gathering place.
Where's a good viewpoint though over the river?
Well, they'd be high enough, wouldn't be able to look up over the tree.
Well, with the Canadian fires,
Hopefully they'll be out by next July. Or not started for that.
they don't fly in lightning and also wind, so that's a standpoint where we'll have to, just watch one. Chris thinks that's funny. But yeah, I think it's good. I was surprised with the quote.
Mhm.
I was not really feeling good about it Monday because a lot of the calls that I had, it was 20,000 to 40,000. So if you guys are still set for July 3rd, we can march forward with that. I can explore a little. If you want this vendor to produce more, I can ask about the sound, but I do think this vendor went a little bit over and beyond, and they even created a mock show for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, I'd like to pursue this company and let's reach out to local media companies and see if we can get this radio thing going. I think that's a really, really cool idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if they help offset the cost, that'd be even better.
Are you guys for the logos, or are you guys not for the logos?
I think we should try.
And because we don't want logos for every minute, do you guys want to limit it to 3?
It's a 20-minute show.
Well, that's the other problem. It's only about 11 to 13-minute show. So each image kind of floats in the sky for about a minute, and then it takes some time for the next drone
Right.
to come.
Hmm.
So it will be a shorter show, and I'm a little bit concerned where if we have a decrease of people in the town park, because you might be able to see it throughout town a little bit more. I don't think we'll have the amount of vendor fees to offset the cost, so that might go down year 2. But
Lisa, I think the complete opposite. I think we're going to be the first drone show in the area, and I
People
think
are
that
gonna like it.
having it on the 3rd is going to bring a lot more people in than I think that you think of.
okay,
I think if we opened up more of Market Street too to do it and encourage people to bring their dogs because it's like pet friendly, people love taking their animals places.
will council allow dogs in the dog park after dusk that night?
Whoa, let's not get crazy.
Okay.
about
You don't even have to do it over the river. Like,
Right.
you may be in off the river to try to pass one of the trees.
I mean, we can do it the same place that we do it, and it sort of looks through that clearing.
I can ask what mile radius you can see the drones. I don't know that, like what kind of quality they have. So I'll have to ask like what radius you can see it.
That, I'm sure, depends on a lot of factors. If it was foggy and not windy and it's going to be burnt,
Yeah.
we could have a lot of snow that day.
And apparently it's a known thing to go into contracts with these drone vendors. So I don't know if that's something you guys have interest in or just try it for 1 year, but apparently I've been, some salespeople were trying to get me to lock into 3 years at a discounted rate. Apparently that's a thing. But
How much was that discounted rate?
So 150 was their holiday discounted rate if we would sign up for a 3-year contract. This vendor, though, because they are buying additional drones and increasing their equipment or assets, they were able to keep the price at 100 for us.
For 3 years?
And they didn't say for 3 years for this one. So if you guys just want to try it out for 1 year and see how it goes, this vendor in particular said $100 just for year 1. But I just wanted to give that to you guys as an update because I can go maybe back to the vendor to say, is there any discount rate for a 3-year contract?
Well, but I think, why would we lock into somebody for 3 years now when the prices are inflated because of the 250-year thing? And undoubtedly, other people are going to be entering the market because these drones are so cheap now. If you can find 20 different vendors and they're willing to travel from Texas because they've got the drones, there's going to be other people that are like, wait a minute, we'll buy these drones for $100 a piece and I'm charging everybody that I use these for $100 a piece. That's easy money.
Yeah.
So I think that we should only do a year with these guys and then we could probably get more favorable pricing as this goes on.
Agreed.
So audio check-in too, and you guys are good if you see this on for Monday night?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
I am.
me too.
Okay. Anything else on that, Jackie?
Nope. Sounds good to me.
Any other questions or comments on that? Okay. Next is update from Chief.
Well, we're moving forward with the sergeant testing, and we're looking to have the PA chiefs do the oral interview for this. That'll be on tentatively September 15th. The quote is for 2,000.
Okay. I think we sort of brought this up before.
Yeah,
Have you?
we talked about it before,
Okay.
and that was the route we wanted to go.
All right. Jackie, you want to make a motion?
Oh, yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, I'll second. You have any questions, Jackie?
No, do we have any people who are interested?
There's several people interested
Okay.
that are moving forward.
There wasn't everybody that at least studied?
Yeah, most people that were eligible are taking the test.
Okay.
Because I saw that there was a limit of 8 people. I didn't know if there was more than 8.
No, not at this point.
Okay.
You got that number correct, Jackie. Way to go.
Would there be the possibility of more?
No, it would be, like, that's the people,
Okay.
that's the officers that are taking the test.
Okay. All right, are there any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, is that?
Aye.
Okay.
And so the next item is that we extended the deadline for the application process to September 1st. We did by a month to see if anybody else was going to be interested. There's some new academy classes starting shortly, I believe in October.
Okay.
So
Are there,
just
would
see
it
how things work out.
be worthwhile, do they have sort of career fairs there at these academies where we can go set up a booth or have a representative at some
I
point
can
in
have a
time?
representative go up and at least talk to the academy classes.
Okay.
See if there's anybody that's interested in, applying here. And that would still be roughly 6 months away.
Okay.
That the academy classes would be starting, so, they still go through our civil service process. And if they're in the academy, they're able to take our test and see how they fare out there, and we can go through the process.
Okay. Jackie, do you have any questions or concerns about that? I mean, it is
Nope.
what it is, we're not getting a lot of turnout.
I know. I'd rather wait for good ones.
Okay. Do you have any other direction on that?
That's kind of where we're at.
Okay. Okie dokie. Next item then is update on the pool closure and the season passes. Ms. Reiger.
Pool's back open. correct. It was closed for like 7 days. There were some people commenting that maybe refunds might be issued for the days that the pool was closed.
Mm-hmm.
We did some calculating there, figure out how many. There was like about 160 pool passes total for the year so far. And it would be about $3,500 if we wanted to issue refunds. So keep in mind the Sunbury Pool did offer to like honor
That
the
doesn't
We were closed, prorated for the cost of the permit, right?
Use the Sunbury pool.
I do not.
I think, I saw the post, I think you guys did a good job of calculating that out. First of all, I want to thank everybody involved in this, because I think 7 days of turnaround on something like that, when we weren't anticipating that level of a problem, is phenomenal. So thank you all for pulling that way you guys did to get things done.
I think that I would put it out, if it were me, I would put it out there that we're willing to offer prorated refunds for the days, as advertised. I don't think that you're going to get 100% participation. There might be some people that want their $10, and that's cool. Let's give them their $10. I think most people are going to see that this was, excuse my English, but shit happens sometimes. And
Yeah.
most people are just happy to have a pool, and I think that most people that I've spoken to are appreciative that we were able to get it fixed so quickly. And, if I have a cooler go down at my restaurant, that's just what happens sometimes, and you might have to close the kitchen for a couple of days. Like, what happened? I think it's really conscientious of us to reach out to Pork Taco and say, hey, we'll cut your rate on the rent because you couldn't be open for a week. That, I think we've handled it as responsibly as possible. So if you want to put it out there that if people feel they need their money back or want a refund, that they can take it. I don't think we're going to see a lot of participation because I think people will get it. But it's the right thing to do, so we should offer it either way.
Agreed.
You want that to go to full council for a vote then?
I think we should.
Yep.
Do you have any other thoughts, Jackie?
Nope. I think that, again, I appreciate everyone's hard work on that because it was just a simple little fix and then it turned into something major. And I thought we handled it very appropriately and pretty quickly.
So we kind of learned from that experience, right? So some of the other items on this for 9A, some of the comments were, what about the Berwick pool? I did not seek out, the Sunbury pool to say, hey, can you take our season pass holders?
Right.
Understanding it's 45 minutes one direction away, right? So when I hear those things, is there any type of partnership that council wants to do with local pools, and not so much for this season, but for next season, that if our pool goes down, they would be received at another community pool and vice versa. So I don't want to be in a position where Sunbury pool breaks down, and I know we're at the end of the season, but because they did that as a, an offering, are we going to do that in return?
I think we should.
And that's not a me decision. That has to come from council.
I think that offer was made by Sunbury because of our association with Ron, and it was very much appreciated, and I think that we would do the same thing for Ron if his pool broke down because he helps us out.
Okay.
I can't blame people online who live in the area to think that, like, Berwick or Bloomsburg are somehow in the pool, but so is Millville in the pool business, We have these facilities to offer recreation to our residents, and we don't make money, so I'm not sure that we need, like, reciprocity, like you would buy an Epic Pass for ski slopes or something like that. That's not really how this works.
Yeah.
We're offering our pool to our residents because their taxpayer dollars are going towards this facility. If people are coming from out of the area, I think that they should pay the day pass. So I'm not really interested in encouraging ours to go to Berwick or Berwick to come to ours because we're all paying for our own pools. So it's a nice concept, but I don't think that it really makes fiscal sense for us to be doing that. It's not realistically, that's not the business for it.
Okay.
I don't know, Jackie, do you?
I mean, not all of the pool passes are bought by town residents, though.
Right.
So, I mean, just relating to me, I was a kid, like I was never a town resident, so I was never technically paying for the pool when I was a kid, so I don't,
So you bought a pass for our pool.
right. But I think it's
That's what I'm saying. It's like, if you want to come to our pool, buy the day pass or buy the season pass because you like our pool, and if I want to go to Berwick, I would expect to pay the day pass or buy a season pass because I like Berwick.
I was more or less, and I'm gonna throw this out here, if there was a community pass upcharge where it would allow you to go to different pools, right? I don't know if that's something that I could create with the local pools, but that was just an idea. That way, you know, if we get into a situation where we're down for a month and we, you know, it's not just a week, I can at least have that in place, but that's gonna require some community work with nearby pools for that.
Have we perfected our accounting for our own pool?
We have not, however, we strive to make that work, and I will definitely say on the application side, we learned to have a clause to say, you know, town has the right to close for weather and maintenance.
Right.
We didn't have that on our season passes, so, you know, we're getting to a point where we're a little bit more of a business standpoint
I'm
than
just
local
joking,
government.
that's why complicated with trying to keep
Yeah.
track of, well, this person bought the upgraded pass or things like,
It's a nice winter project for Jack and Joe, so I just thought I'd throw it out there, but
I didn't know you were looking for more projects, Jack.
if it's not something you guys want to entertain, we'll just, you know, go about it. 9B, then Brady does have, you know, something to bring up about the pumps too as an option.
No, I think it's a really cool idea.
Okay.
Like, Jackie, what are your thoughts?
I love the community thought process because, I mean, some days maybe you just want to go to Bourbon instead of our pool or what have you. I think that's a great idea. Is it feasible? I'm not sure.
Okay, we can explore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie, I guess. Does Berwick run their pool, or do they have a separate group that's the...
It's independent from the municipality,
Okay,
but they have an arm in it.
okay. Well, let's see if there's a way that we can do it, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I don't know what that upcharge would be or how we would make that work, but, yeah.
Okay,
Because I
Well-
totally understood the people, like, why would we go to Sunbury that's so far away? Because the connection was wrong.
yeah. Yeah, the right post, I couldn't say, well, Berwick didn't offer it, right?
Right.
I couldn't say that, so. But Brady has an item to bring up. You know, we learned a lot with the pool not operating in a week, so Brady has some suggestions on pumps and keeping the pool running.
All right, I hear it's much quieter down there
Typically, yes, it is.
now. That's cool.
Obviously, we've seen what happened with being down for a week.
Mm-hmm.
I think us purchasing a pump, main pump, for the large pool to filter it would be a good idea. Now, the baby pool's filtration pump is the same pump as our feature pumps.
Okay,
So if that were to go down, we could, you know, shut one of the features off, get by with that. So we got one, but the big pool, we don't have, you know, a backup for that.
okay.
So if we're down, and if we can't get it, and, you know, it takes 2-3 weeks to get the pump, you know, we don't have a choice.
Right.
Definitely wonder.
Were you able to secure pricing on that at all?
Well, we're kind of getting prices for that. It'll probably be around 5,000.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing. But that would keep us from having to shut down if, you know, the pump takes it back.
Okay.
And that was a concern when we reopened. We thought the main pump was going bad too, so we didn't have a spare.
Right. Okay, well, why don't you get a price?
Yep.
You know, we're about to go into budget season, so we can, you know, throw it in there, but we can also have a discussion with the pool group and see if that's sort of like the town park thing, if they want to go 50-50 or, you know, however that is. If it's a $5,000 expense, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, that's something you can do in, you know, an hour.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
went down and just mulch it, hold on, wire it, things like that.
Okay.
And when things happened, I think it was 2017, we had our main pump go out on us. So now with all the delays of ordering, and, you know, it could be 20 days, 30 days, that there goes the pool season. So I do think it would be well worth it.
Yeah.
How long do the pumps usually last?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
I would imagine a really long time
Yeah.
if they're maintained well.
Knowing our luck,
Yeah, you never know.
less than the words.
I mean, they should be good for a while, you know, the viewers, so I mean.
Or one day past the warranty.
Yeah.
That very planned obsolescence. Okay, well, yeah, I think that's a good idea. At least it's worth exploring. If you can't find it in the budget, we'll keep it on the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions, Jackie?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Next is discussion of the property at 290 East 9th Street. See, they tore it down.
They did yesterday, right?
Yes.
So, you know, I think we spoke about this like 2 months ago at committee, like what are the next steps with that property. At committee yesterday, there was an interest in auctioning it off.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, real estate matters, like I want to make sure full council is on board with what the plan is. If you guys are interested in it, I did some review last night. Public land can't go less than $6,000. So we could do an appraisal, right? Those appraisals are probably $850 at the minimum. Understand what the land is truly worth, because I don't know what that land is worth. Have a minimum auction where that's our rate, but if we're going to exceed $6,000, I don't think an appraisal is really worth having. So I did send it to Turowski. In the past, our prior solicitor was our auctioneer in council chambers. So if that's something Matt wants to do for us, or if we have to have an auctioneer come in, I would probably say we can do it with Matt.
Why would we not entertain the same company that just ran that one for the county where that property on Washington went for way more than what we thought it was worth?
I'm sure that there's probably a subscription fee for using Bid for Assets. That company is very odd. I got my deposit back and it was just a paper check that I had to print from our own printer, so I don't really like that company. But we can
Well, you can't
explore
argue
it.
their results.
We can
We were
explore
expecting
it.
to pick that up for what? Or $6,000 and it went for 19.
I guess I'm just old school. I like the endorse here on the back, but yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I can look at the rate on the website. I don't really think we have to blow it out of proportion. I don't think we'll get a lot of non-locals bidding on the property in town. I was probably thinking the neighbors would be mostly interested in the property, but who knows?
Well, but if you put it on a platform where people are looking for properties for that purpose, I mean, our business is trying to sell it for as much as we can to taxpayers.
There is state litigation, or legislation, I should say, that in order to sell a property, the county is different than the municipality, but I think it has to be an auction. And I don't know if we qualify for an online auction for a length of time, because there's certain advertisements we must hit. I spent probably 30 minutes looking at it last night.
Yeah,
Okay.
you gave
But
the property to
If you
Berger.
guys want to do an online platform, I can certainly line that up for Monday night.
Well, but now I feel like I can't say that that's the way we should go. There are rules that I'm unaware of that prevent that from being as effective as it could be.
I could look at both simultaneously. Yeah, I have an email out to Matt. I was waiting for committee to weigh in on it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you, at least yesterday, council wanted to go for an auction.
Like our lawyer auctioned off here in council chamber.
Yep. And if we go ahead and do that, if we go ahead and sell it, the property has to sell for more than $6,000. If it's less than $6,000, we can go to a neighbor and say, do you want this property? So there's a lot of
For
different
less.
avenues. Yeah.
I like the in-person auction, personally. I'll just say
I
that.
wouldn't have cared until we had this Washington property that went for so much more. I mean, none of us were expecting that that would go for what it did for a tear-down trailer and a car around here.
I would say this property has deed restrictions though too, that we can't build on the property. So in the deed restriction, because there's grant dollars used, there can't be any structures on that property in the future.
Okay.
So it is a little different. Like, I don't know, other than people using it for a campground, a storage area, cars parking on it, but there's not a lot of value to that other than land value. But I don't see us having a $20,000 property.
Okay, so they can't, so it's not developable. That changes the.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, I'm fine going with whatever she was.
And Matt ran it for the county, so he might know more about the online platform if that's something you want to further explore.
Well, but if it's not developable, well, then yeah, it's not really worth anything. I mean, we were looking at doing the parking there.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Mm.
All right.
Are you
So
guys?
even if somebody built something that was flood, like raised out of the flood level, they can't do anything.
They would have to probably hire a really good lawyer. I'm not saying that it's a no, but they're going to have to hire a lawyer and prove it that they can build on that lot.
Okay. Jackie?
I just
You're
think
fine
that
with
if an in-person auction, it's going to has more of a chance to go to someone local that will probably maintain it. I'm just worried about online auction and it going to being owned by someone that does not live locally that will not maintain it.
Good point.
If the auction falls through, I did file for the tax exempt status in the fall. They have a hearing once a year at the county level, so I applied for the tax exempt status on the property.
So doesn't it become tax exempt as soon as it's in our name?
You would think, but I have to do an application for it.
How many times over the last 6 years have I heard you would think? Okay. Are you good with that, Jackie?
I am, thank you.
Okay. That's good. You need any other clarification, Lisa?
Nope, we're ready for the auction.
Okay. Next is parking in the West End.
Does someone else want to talk, or do you want me to keep talking?
Yeah, we went down the other day and we looked at it, and there has to be a study completed apparently to see if we can bring in traffic. And I think we had talked about
So
this
this is
briefly.
fair parking on the West End.
Yeah, this isn't.
Okay. This is not
something.
Jefferson, the West.
This is. I think this is the fair parking, right, Jackie?
It is, yes. You
Yeah,
were correct.
so we looked at that, and then the three of us went down. We looked at the area. Our intent was to bring them off of 11. That doesn't seem like it's going to work. So now we're rethinking, maybe possibly trying to make it the entrance and exit on West Pine Ave there, and moving forward that way.
Chief, I think you have enough other things to handle between now and Fair Week that, we should maybe plan for this for 2026 and we can talk about this briefly here. But I don't think by Fair Week is a reasonable amount of time to get any of this done, or let's have a solid plan.
Brady put together a really nice outlay of the lot in the packet. So.
Yeah, so I went down and measured it.
But someone else needs to come and study it now?
I figured, well, see, that's the thing, if we need a traffic study, I don't understand why we need that. And how many private citizens are, turning their yard into a parking lot?
So just to clarify too, it's an HOP permit, and that was the concern on Route 11 to get into the property.
Right.
That was going to be our entrance, right? So when we talk about Route 11 on the left-hand side here, they were supposed to come in from Route 11 and exit onto a town road. We do not need an HOP study if we have people coming in and out of the town-owned road.
Right.
However, there is, because we're the town, we want to do everything right. There are ADA stalls that we want to talk about probably, or, if we need a permit for that. And then who's going to be down there collecting it, if it's nonprofits or if it's town. So I think we explored this. We put I don't want to say a lot of resources into it already, but department head leaders did meet and discuss this.
Yeah, I don't know how much time you guys want to put into it, or money. for that matter, if it's not, worth doing, and then we still don't know how it's gonna impact. After we put in all that money, you don't know how it's gonna impact the traffic until you do it like once.
Yeah.
So,
Brady was saying you would need paint, right?
Yeah, so we have to
And
obviously buy
stripes.
supplies to rope that all off.
Mhm.
I don't know if we necessarily really need it to be handicap accessible. You said something that we have to do. Or
Our
just made it a.
Permit guy's right next to you, so
Are you fine, everybody else in town with it?
we are.
Parts for the fair?
And we've been trying to do our due diligence with permits, at least trying, right? So
Now, is the university right across the way there, are they ADA compliant or?
I'd have to defer to the code office on that one. I have my own personal take on it. But
Or get calls for parking during fairways?
Mike, what was that again? I'm so sorry.
So we don't ever get calls for parking or permits during fairways?
Okay.
This is, I think, is a broader discussion that we probably need to have at some point about, like, I appreciate our diligence in all of this and holding ourselves to the same standard. Is that we're burdening ourselves with our own care. This is aggravating to some degree.
it was an engineer email coming from your engineers.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out that, like, we spend a lot of time on these sorts of things. And not that we shouldn't, but maybe the discussion of whether we should or shouldn't should be had at some point, because it is more difficult to say. If we have traffic coming in that is the VIPs for the fair using the Pine Avenue entrance there, then we're jamming that up. And then we also have the vendors coming out, between the McGee Center and whatever that road is there on the Market Street. Like, it's not really easy for us to have it all on a town-owned street. Would make sense to have them coming off of Route 11. Like, everything has some trade-offs. The fair has a fair amount of handicap parking. Like, is that something if we say, look, there is a significant amount there? You're not getting calls from other places, the people that are permitting parking. We're just trying to do something good here. Like, I find it aggravating to some degree. And I think we all do, because it's aggravating.
If you would have seen the cost of what Drew wrote up, you would also, I was severely aggravated by that cost. I don't know where that came from, but I don't know why it got so difficult to just do simple parking for 1 week. I just thought it was totally out of proportion and unnecessary.
It always is.
I agree with you, but if this were a business coming to do it and saying we're going to commercialize this lot, that's what we would ask them to do, and at least to the theoretical standard, we're holding ourselves to it.
And it's not even us, that's a PennDOT standard.
Right.
I just want to clarify, that's not a town standard, PennDOT standard.
Yeah, it's temporary park, we're not talking about a permanent parking lot.
Yeah.
It's for a week, and you're not improving their pavement.
Yeah.
I didn't see what Drew sent up.
I mean, you were just down at Music Fest. I was just down at Music Fest. You see these places that put on like these big things, and you just adapt your existing structures to what you have to do for that period of time. We're talking about a 10-day period of time where we want to park some cars on grass.
Oh, I've had conversations about an app, like, to help do cashless, right? So Livick Civil's biting at that. They were going to come here and present, but it was a little bit too early in the conversation. But they would create a platform where they would take percentage and basically have people pay to park and reserve a spot. So I think this could turn into something where we, include a lot of staff time into it. What my initial intention was, I see $1 million project for a new roadway down there, right?
Yeah.
It would help our staff be a little bit more safe with a temporary light. If we could at least get 20 to 30 grand a year to help pay for the project, I think that's all this started out to be.
Right.
I was just trying to find, a budget,
Well, but how do we keep it that way? Because that's what it should be. Is like,
Absolutely.
this is not a bad idea in an effort to try to offset something that we know we want to improve down there. It gets overcomplicated because it's on Route 11 now, and it gets overcomplicated because, well, we're the town doing it. But you're right, there's people parking cars all over town that week that are not getting permits to do it, and we're not going down there and checking to make sure that everybody that's parking cars in their back lawn has an ADA spot, and life is going on. We somehow managed to survive.
An ADA spot.
It's frustrating.
It's just frustrating to me because I saw how many cars were getting parked by Bloomsbury University and how much money they were making, and we could be doing the exact same thing. That is the most frustrating part because they're probably parking more than 177 cars in that lot, and that is the most frustrating part, to see how much money they were making. Even on rainy days, people were parking there, and we could be doing the same here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll just bring up, part of the discussion is, where do we want to have the resources? And if we put in the resources, then the conversation is who collects the funds, who gets that. And I know the nonprofits were brought up,
Mm-hmm.
but I will also say, there's going to be a quote before council to try to start this Fort McClure project. And I rely on the engineers to have the survey done and have everything legally prepared for us, right? That's something I can't do.
Right.
So when I look at that cost, and that's going to come to council, there's going to be costs to prepare us for this project that I have to set in motion. And that's what I try to do, right?
Right.
So when I see those costs and I know they're going to be coming, is it in the best interest of the town to try to get 20 grand out of a year? Probably.
Yeah, it is. But then are we going to hamstring ourselves by all of these other things that we're going out of our way kind of to satisfy, when better good is to be doing it the way that you're suggesting? It's like, if we can make some money down here in this property that otherwise sits and is useless, and by design has to be useless most of the time, to offset these costs that we know we're going to have to spend to hopefully make a major improvement, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we cut some bullshit and get it done?
Quiet.
Fire,
I don't
living,
see the issues.
civil.
It's a temporary thing, and the fair's been there for over 100 years. It's not like traffic's changing, so.
Yeah.
I thought I'd like you in this role. Good pep talk, Grady. Do I hear something from? Wait, what's that fuss? If you guys say do it, we'll make it work. If you guys say,
Well, what's the recommendation at this point? I mean, is the recommendation that this is worthwhile and we should do it, and we need to,
I think the Brady and Lisa are yeah, let's go right ahead.
Okay.
Probably from a police standpoint, and I don't want to speak for Fosse, but I understand the reservations because we don't know how the traffic flow will work. I also don't know how the public relations of us doing it after the university did it, and then also trying to work with the fair on a project. If we allow 174 parking spots, we're taking that revenue from other people, even the community members that are letting people park on their parcel. But I'll let you.
Lisa,
No, I mean, if you
busy
if you
day,
guys decide that you want, sorry. So speak.
the whole Zoom
Go ahead,
thing,
Daddy.
the amount of people that are just driving in circles on the really busy days is astronomical. They are just driving around in circles looking for a place to park when it is really nice outside. People are just driving around in circles, and I
Speak.
giving them another option so they're not driving around in circles is what I would like to do.
Can they enter the fair from that gate? Or is that a vendor-only entrance?
So we learned, I should probably if you need to have a pre-ticket or else you have to walk to gate 3, I think it is.
Which is over through the parking lot?
I think
Yeah,
so.
okay.
So there's an opening there that you can walk straight across the parking lot. It's just gonna be, it's Fairbanks, so it'll be money.
All right,
Right.
I'm turning off the live now because I
And
have
as Randy
other things to
mentioned,
do that are more
if you buy
important
it
than
online,
this.
you get a $1 discount.
So,
but-
sorry, Kat, if you're still on there, you gotta go on Zoom if you wanna watch the rest
Well,
of this.
Yeah. This is, you know, again, like, we're not,
I mean, from our,
this is staff time no matter what. But I like the idea of the whole reservation policy, and if we wanted to say this is a reserved lot, that, hey, we have this platform, come to our platform, and we're gonna guarantee a spot, it's right here, oh, and we worked with the fair to have this permit that lets you in that gate. Now you've got a value-added product.
So, I just want to add as a follow-up, self-regulated on the app, right? But we would probably need some parking enforcement
Yeah.
to do it. And I hate to throw this out, but if we do it right, there would be an ordinance to basically say that is a new parking lot. And we could create a new, probably
my
passport
God.
zone. I didn't even talk to parking, but I was thinking this because I had conversations with Drew this morning that his platform would be similar to Passport. So basically, it would just be creating a new parking lot and letting people pay by app.
I like
I
that.
probably put too much time into this.
I really like that idea.
I mean, we just work just as well, same as the reservations at the park, I guess, for.
That
I
idea,
don't really care. I like the idea of people being able to, ahead of time, know that they have a place to park, and here's where it's gonna be, so they know where they can put in their GPS, this is the lot I'm going to, hand their ticket to whomever there and says, I'm paid to park for this day during this period of time. That sounds pretty good.
so we're making it a permanent parking lot. So it's no longer a temporary parking lot for a week. It's a permanent parking lot for the next.
Would we have to do that?
Susan, I'll
Because
show you how to
that's
find it
the
online.
passport
Hopefully the
permit?
sound stays
I don't know.
on.
it would be a
Yeah,
new
it does,
zone
okay.
unless we call it the 170, was it 170?
So you go to the Bloomsburg Facebook
Well, yeah,
page.
if we added a separate zone and it was only there for a week, I mean, can we do that with passport where it's there and gone?
We already paid the fee.
Right.
We'd have
And
to
then
have
just scroll
conversations.
down.
I will definitely say that idea came from our engineer, so I don't want to take credit for that one.
Yeah.
If you click on town meetings and just pick the one we're on,
Permanent thing,
it's right there.
so the temporary thing.
Yeah, why would that have to change the temporary? The idea that it's temporary.
That's the code item.
I'll leave this on for another 5 minutes. I'm just gonna go get my car.
There's other people employed by the town other than Lisa Dooley here. Mike Rafford?
You come up with a plan, let us know,
Do you see any reason why we would not consider this a temporary parking lot?
if you prove roll off and just do where everybody else does it, it'd be temporary.
Right.
No one else is being asked for a zoning permit or that after the audit,
Okay.
so why would you,
That sounds like a yes.
why would this be different? I'm just asking.
Yep.
If you start putting angle out there and paint lines, now you probably making it the word temporary. I don't know where you spend the time painting lines, but people in the grass is there.
Because I think if we're gonna reserve spots, if we paint lines for a football field and grass that grows, is that a permanent line?
No,
Okay.
had the one down by the street or field and we let that off for overflow park.
Right.
But there was no real proof, just saving money.
But who submitted the permit for that one? Because if someone
I know
gets
who did.
hurt, yeah, because if someone gets hurt, you know, it comes to my desk in the sense of liability. So I will definitely say, no matter if you guys want to do it, you know, I'll work with Mike to get that permit. And I would want to hear it from them that a permit's not required, other than us not apply.
Okay. So if we say we just rope it off, we're not going to fence it in with, you know, permanent posts or anything like that. We're not paving any areas to improve the parkability of it. we're just gonna rope it in and take some spray paint and mark off areas. Maybe we need to number them for the sake of, our reservation service or whatever.
I would like them numbered, personally.
Okay.
Just so, like, if someone's sending someone to in the park, just be like, hey, spot X is open.
Or I think it would be easier, I mean, again, we can talk about this with Passport, but if, you can go look up and say, or it assigns a spot, that'd be great. That's probably easiest, rather than have people pick, because,
Well, I might have to go to the zoning hearing board because I do have a chat saying I don't see parking as an allowed use in the zoning district, so. Because we are the town, I want to make sure that we try to do it above board.
I get that.
Yeah.
But this also is like such a temporary opportunity that we're not authorizing a permanent parking lot there. So maybe we need to loosen the belt on something. We don't have parking, listed anywhere right now. So let's reach out to Passport and see about if they can do a temporary zone for that and what that would look like as far as having a reserved spot or a signed spot, maybe not reserved, but however we'll live.
Okay. We will follow up.
Thanks, Lisa. Appreciate it.
All right, guys,
Is there
I'm
anything
logging
else,
off.
Jack, you can think of like to that end?